Welcome to the G3 Pulse podcast. Our guest today is Jon Jayal, CEO of Embedded Solutions Specialist Quixant. We wanted to speak to Jon about a range of topics, not least the new series of Quixant products. But first, I want to welcome Jon to the podcast and ask how COVID's been treating you and the business. Hi, Jon.
Hi, Lewis. Great to see you. It's been an interesting year, I think, for all of us, and gaming.
It's been tricky. It's been tricky all round. And I think my first kind of initial question was to ask about that, because eventually we'll actually get to the ice show. It's been 2 years since the last exhibition, and I wanted to ask you what's been the impact on Quixant of this lack of face-to-face meetings and lack of boots on the ground as well.
Well, look, I mean, one of the things I think we all love about this industry is how sociable it is, and how important these key events like G2E and ICE are to the show calendar, to make sure that we see the companies we work with, the partners we work with, and I think we've all really missed that. It's been a really tough year not having that interaction. So we're really looking forward to resuming normal service on the trade shows. I think it's really important that we start getting to see people again. That said, we've managed to continue to do business. We've had lots of these kind of VCs, which has been the lifeblood of continuing to work with our partners. But certainly very much looking forward to getting back to normal and having trade shows again, and continuing the conversations that we've been having over VC for the last 12 months or so.
One of the things that come from the trade shows is your ability to catch up with people and to discuss what's happening in the marketplace. And just from a global perspective, what's your kind of take on it in isolation as we've been, but what's your take on where we kind of stand at the moment?
Yeah, it's been astonishing actually how resilient the market has been in the recovery. So, certainly we're a public company. I talk to shareholders a lot. I'd have never expected the gaming market to rebound as quickly as it has. And I guess particularly if you look at the state of the US market at the moment, really that market is going into a strong degree of what I call normality very quickly after such a catastrophic second quarter last year. So the market's rebounding quickly, demand's restoring. I think we're all optimistic that Europe's going to start to see a recovery in the second half of this year as well. So yeah, gaming market certainly isn't dead. It's very much still alive. We're really excited about what we're seeing in terms of demand for the business. And we're looking forward to continuing to work with our partners in that recovery to make them successful.
One of the big kind of global things that's happening at the moment is we're seeing chip shortages, not least in practically every sector, but obviously from the embedded solution specialists such as yourselves. How has this impacted on yourselves, but business wider as well?
Yeah, the chip shortages are, as you say, cross-sector. They hold no prisoners in terms of where they're impacting. Gaming in particular, though, I suppose, because of the heavily regulated nature of the industry, is even more impacted because, of course, lots of the machines that are produced need to have a consistent bill of materials. The regulator has approved that as part of their license. So, the ability that you might have in the consumer markets to chop and change between different components, you can't have in the gaming sector. So it's been even harder for our customers and for us as a supplier to them to navigate our way through these very choppy waters that we have in the component shortages. But we're managing our way through it. We've been working very hard with our suppliers to try and buy in ahead of time, to buy stock ahead of time. We have the fortunate position that we have resources within the business that allow us to buy extended periods worth of stock. And that's enabled us to hopefully buffer our customers from the worst of it. But it is truly a very challenging time for everybody. And I suppose on the back of last year, where it was difficult to see the demand, the players weren't in casinos for about a quarter. Now coming into a period where actually the demand is there, but supply is more of a risk. It's a difficult pill to swallow after what we saw in 2020 as well.
We also had the kind of almost double whammy of AMD's decision to defocus from casino gaming as well. And I just wondered, how have you responded to that as well as having to respond to COVID?
Yeah, and I think that sort of follows a similar story that we saw in lots of suppliers actually. So everybody's looking at how do they trim costs. They can't manufacture as much as they were because of component shortages and capacity shortages. So AMD's decision to defocus from the casino gaming market is sort of allied with what we're seeing in several other vendors, and installing early end of life, etc., of some of their components. So one of the things that was great about AMD, and we've really been supportive of them for, was that they had strong graphics capabilities, which is so critical for gaming. And fortunately, Intel has also made strides in that area recently. And so really we're agnostic to the supply partners we work with. The important thing for us is working with people that well service the needs of the gaming industry, the game developers that write the titles for the industry. And so, with graphics performance improving on Intel, that's mean we've been increasing our focus on Intel over the last few years. And now we have launched products which are, we think, again, best of breed, using the best blend of components to service what the gaming market needs. So Quixant has changed slightly its tact on what products we're offering going forward. But again, the important thing is that you get the best of Quixant, not the best of AMD in what we supply.
Oh yeah, I mean, you touched upon products and product innovation, and I just wanted to kind of ask you what you see as emerging from your sector, but also from Quixant as well. And what changes do you see that are going to be permanent, and which ones are going to be temporary going forward?
Yeah, my view is a lot of what we've had structurally has changed the gaming market in the last 12 months. So, for example, the incredible level of cross-pollination of online into land-based, I think that's going to be permanent. I don't think that's going to go back. You've seen, obviously, significant amounts of regulation in the US market for online games now being available, and that, I think, will continue to drive a cross-pollination of online games into land-based. So I think that trend will continue. Clearly, cashless is going to continue to be a driver of future innovation, because as governments look to try and provide cleaner ways of people interacting with machines, people don't want to have paper money, etc. So I think cashless will continue. But more specifically in terms of how we contribute to that, so we've got to provide an easy platform to enable these technologies to be brought to the land-based market. And so, we've been launching some new products. We've got a new Intel-based product called the QMax 3 Lite, which we brought out. That's using a Tiger Lake CPU, very, very powerful graphics available on that. And actually, really importantly, we always try and enable that upgrade path for our existing customers. So that will be a drop-in replacement for anybody on one of our most popular product lines, which was a QX40, 50, and 60 range. So that will be something that you can drop in directly to replace those, but using a brand new architecture. And then we've also brought in a new lower cost platform called the iQ. That's at a price point which gives you access to Quixant at a lower level than we've previously been able to offer. So we've certainly continued to evolve our product offering through this and cater for some of these evolving trends as the market sort of readjusts itself in the aftermath of COVID.
Okay, and kind of almost spooling on from the idea of new products, and how are you working with your partners to actually make sure that Quixant's supporting customers during this kind of it's a strange period that we're going through at the moment?
Yeah, I've been really proud about how the business has reacted to it. I've been really proud about how the sales teams have responded to it. And for me, the times when you test partnership are in the years like we had in 2020. That's the time when partnerships are really tested. And the thing that I'm most proud about is we've had close engagement with customers. I think we've behaved in the right way with customers. So we've been supporting them through what was an almost impossible situation in the second quarter. Our gaming customers, spend millions of dollars on game design constantly. They're constantly trying to roll out new machines. Suddenly their income streams dried up when the casinos closed. And so for me, this was all about how do we work together, pool our collective resources so that we both come through this period in a stronger position as possible. And I'm really pleased with how that's gone, because we've supported with payments. We've been willing to push out and defer orders. We've been willing to provide buffer stock or advanced stock as we've now gone into the shortage positions that we're in. So I think the collaboration with our customers has been even tighter in the last 12 months than it's ever been before. And hopefully they feel the same way as I do, which is that demonstrates a good degree of partnership when the chips are down.
And kind of internally looking as well, what's Quixant been doing in terms of your own investments in technology, but also it's not just about the tech; it's about the people in the business as well. What about the personnel that you've been employing and promoting as well?
Yeah, we've still got about the same number of people as we had pre-pandemic, so we haven't taken a massive cut in headcount. We still have a major customer base to support. We can't afford to start cutting out engineers here, there, and everywhere to just support the fact that our profits and our revenues are down. So we've got a similar, level of headcount, and in fact, actually now we've got quite a number of active roles that we're recruiting for to build new headcount as the aftermath of the recovery continues, and we see new demand being resumed for products. So we're very much still in an investment phase in the business. And alongside that, we are continuing to look at how do we utilize more VC equipment, because that's a key part of doing business today. We can't go and visit the States in the same way as we can. So we've been making heavy investments in terms of how do we engage more with customers and how do we continue to do business when actually there's not the same ability for face-to-face interaction. So, we are very much at the phase of, we're investing because we believe that the gaming industry's got a really bright future and that we can help customers in that future to be more successful.
Okay, I guess final question, John, and to wrap things up, kind of how optimistic are you right now? Is this the kind of a phase of the business that we should be looking up for, or is this going to be a hard slog from this point on?
Yeah, I'm really optimistic, Lewis. I think the gaming market has had some adjustment to make in the last year, and clearly we're not out of the woods yet. We've still got Europe suffering with heavy levels of infection from the pandemic. But I think what the last year has proven is gaming is incredibly resilient, and gaming will always come back. It's a great source of entertainment. So many people around the world love it. And so, while it's been painful and lots of the management teams in some of the companies we work with have had to do a lot of soul searching to come through it, actually the gaming market is an incredibly resilient entity, and it will rebound. And in terms of personally what it means for us, I think we're in a very strong position to benefit in that. We've got a good financial stability, which has proven through the last year. I think we've done the right thing by customers, and we've demonstrated partnerships that extend well beyond just sort of making money. It's all about survival and working together. And I think our product set and our roadmap is really exciting, and it's going to be compelling for companies looking to provide a greater degree of outsource of some of their technology stack to us. So no, I'm really optimistic about the future.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us today, John. And thank you for updating us about the situation that's is kind of facing lots of people in the gaming industry, but also the chip shortage side of things is an ongoing issue at the moment. So yeah, appreciate you taking the time to speak to us today. So thank you very much. Bye, John.
Thanks, Lewis. Look forward to meeting you again face to face soon.
Yeah, me too. See you soon. Bye.